Who are you, really? Do you even know? What does it matter anyway? And what does spiritual awakening have to do with you? Regardless of where you are in your journey, unpacking these questions could be critical for our survival. Let's explore. First of all, good day, good people. I'm called Dashawn Is. Coming at you live and direct from the dojo, here to clean the crust from the third eyelid so we can all see more clear. You feel me? What is it? What is spiritual awakening? I would liken it to opening the curtains in a dark room onto a beautiful day and letting the sun shine in and get on your skin and you see the beauty. Like, that's what spiritual awakening kind of feels like. It's the best description I can give for it in my experience. When you have an enlightening moment, it's going to immediately affect you, eventually affect you, but inevitably it's going to wake you up to who you really are. And when I say enlightenment, let's not blow it up bigger than it has to be. It is a profound experience. However, I think the media pushed a narrative that makes it a very lofty endeavor, makes it seem almost impossible for a regular human, and that's not true. I'm living proof of it. I've been meditating for over 20 years, and I've been on a spiritual journey probably my entire life. As far as I can tell, I've never not been who I am, which is a seeker and a finder, a truth sayer. And all of these things come through enlightening experiences, and I've had several. Once you do it, there's no turning back. Like, once you start on this road to self-discovery, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. It becomes a part of your life, for better or for worse. And to be truthful, it's always going to be for the better. You can't go wrong with self-discovery. You can't go wrong by going inward and looking at yourself honestly. I think that enlightenment comes to everyone. It can happen to you. Like, I think that people can be born enlightened. I think that most people have to go after it and look for it, and probably the majority of people don't experience enlightenment until they're on their deathbeds. And I don't think that it's necessary to wait that long. You can do something about it actively, and it's change your life experience. What lies ahead on this perilous journey is anybody's guess, because it's an individual journey. So it's going to be scary for you because it's the unknown. And what kind of challenges do we usually face? Making a mistake, loss of friends and family, people not understanding you, people making fun of you. It could be any number of things, but it's the general fears that everybody kind of goes through. And, loss of people that are important to you and general confusion about which way to go are very typical and to be expected. Anybody who's not endeavored to take an inward journey or to go on a spiritual quest or to find some sort of enlightenment or awakening, can't be mad at them and you can't blame them. They're just shook. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand it because, like I said, it's the unknown is kind of scary. And if you don't feel like you've got a mentor or somebody that you could look up to, you're not a part of a church, you're not a religious person, it might feel like a very daunting task. But the truth is that there's not anything to be scared of. When you go inside, you realize, like, hey, this is actually a peaceful place and nobody can hurt me. And the reason that you're afraid is because you probably sense that this is a sacred journey. It's a big deal and it has some weight on it. But when I tell you there's nothing to be afraid of, trust and believe. The thing is to sit down and to do. The thing is to be intentional about wanting to get to know who you truly are. Therein lies a secret. And once you get past that fear and you sit down and you figure out a modality to use to get to a place of enlightenment, you realize that it gets easier and easier to have an experience, especially after you have the first one. The idea of spiritual awakening has been made to seem intimidating because it's profitable to keep people ignorant. The truth of the matter is, if you are a person who seeks control, it behooves you to make sure that they don't know as much as you do. You keep your knowledge to yourself, keep people in the dark, and you can control them. That's dangerous for the people, and eventually it's dangerous for the world. In my lifetime, and as far as I know, for hundreds of years, we've never not been in a war. And it's because it's profitable. Like, war is profitable and fighting is profitable, but only for a few people and not for the whole. And in my humble opinion, a person who's seeking self-knowledge, self-understanding, trying to understand why they're here and going towards spiritual awakening is not only beneficial for that person, but it's eventually beneficial for the entire world. It's going to be something that changes the face of how we all live and how we deal with each other. The more individual people go in, like, figure out who they are and figure out why you're really here, what you think your purpose is. The truth is, the spiritual awakening journey can take a lifetime, and it's supposed to. Like, regardless of when you have your first experience, it doesn't really matter. I mean, as long as you've got breath in your body, then you have an opportunity to learn more about yourself and the universe that we live in. And you start to recognize that we're not separate from the universe. We literally are the universe. There are things in our life that will continue to unfold until we're taken off here, right? That's just what it is. But there are some things that we can do in our lives to quicken our awakening that could help us to progress in the world without having to wait until we're on our deathbed. It's too late then, because you can't really use that knowledge in this 3D world if you're on your way out. So why not wake up right now? Why not participate in your awakening? Because your journey is individual, it behooves you to figure out what practices would work for you. What do you feel comfortable with? And to me, that's the best part. Like, that's the fun part, is to explore and to figure out who you are as an individual, what works best for you. You get to try out a bunch of stuff. And myself, I've tried a lot, like prayer and meditation and yoga and weed and mushrooms and sex and music and travel, and enlightenment can come from anywhere. The point is, you got to figure it out for you. And I've got my go-tos. I got the things that, bring me back to center, remind me of who I really am and what my personal mission is. And the point is to find out what makes your soul sing. That's really the point. Like, figure out what it is for you that is going to get you past woe is me or depression or general confusion about what we have to deal with in this 3D world. You have to be able to hear what the universe is saying to you. The only way you can do it is by getting quiet and going in. Okay, the climax. The pivotal moment in one's life when it's like, oh snap, did that just happen? Oh my God, what is this? What am I feeling? It's the feeling of enlightenment. And when it happens to you, you'll know. It's unmistakable. I liken it to the elusive female orgasm. Rock with me here. I'm not trying to be nasty, but really feel me, it's important. When we're young and inexperienced and we don't know our bodies, we don't know our asses from our elbows, the famed female orgasm is elusive and mysterious. Not just for women, but for all of us. If you ever ask a woman, have you had an orgasm before? And she says, I think so. You know she ain't had no orgasm. Ask a man that same question. Has he ever been able to give his partner an orgasm? And if he says, I think so, you know he's not bringing the work. When I was about 23, a good friend of mine introduced me to sexual kung fu. And for the uninitiated, chill out. It's not as violent as it sounds. It's a real martial art, but it has to do with chakra, microscopic orbit meditation. That's the foundation of this practice, as well as yogic sort of exercises, and of course, intercourse with a willing partner. If you want to learn more about sexual kung fu, subscribe. At 23, I'm doing real meditation for the first time. And it's not easy. Anybody who's ever meditated or tried, it's not something that you just walk into. It's something that you get good at. And I've been doing it for over 25 years now. And I can quiet my mind and get into a meditative state very quickly now with relative ease. But back then, I was working hard in earnest, right? So up until that point, I never really considered what God was. Like, I had a very private and individual relationship with the thing that we call God or a higher power or spirit. But because I didn't grow up religious, and because I'm a black man, I never identified with the idea of an old white man with a white beard on high cloud judging me. That's never been my image of God. But I still think that I had the assumption that God was male, because up until that point in my life, I never really had a reason to question that. In this particular morning, the energy is flowing through my chakras. I learned to open up my chakras, and I can feel the chi energy moving through my body. And toward the end of that meditation, it happened. The best way I could describe it is it felt like I got an epic cosmic hug from the universe. And that hug felt distinctly feminine, distinctly matriarchal. It felt like an old grandmother's hug. It was really warm and inviting, and like I could feel it in every molecule. What I understood immediately, this God thing, this feeling of God, this experience that we have is not binary. You can't simply gender the God body, the God experience. But if I could, I felt her. I felt her hug that was distinctly feminine. So now my understanding of what God means for me is very different from whatever I thought it was before. And I don't remember what I thought before because it's so irrelevant now. The God experience is a creative experience, and you can't simply gender it because it's not that simple. It's really profound. And, for people who already knew that, good on you, mate. However, at 23 is when that experience happened for me, and I've had several other enlightening experiences since then. And I definitely have a deeper relationship to the thing that I call God. So let me ask you again, who are you? I hope you didn't come here or click on this for me to give you the answers, because I really just wanted to ask the question and get people's minds to move around a little bit, because I think we get stuck on stupid staring at televisions and our tablets and our phones all day and not looking each other in the eye and not speaking from the heart and telling our own truth. That is bad for all of us. And I think, honestly, the evidence is, wherever you get your information and news, you can see that there's all kinds of dumb shit happening in the world. Once you get the answer, you'll realize how important the job was and how important it is for you to learn it and for you to help other people to wake up. It's my belief that it's imperative and a sacred duty to figure out who you are, what you really want in life, not what other people want, not what you think your parents want for you, not what your culture wants for you. This is your journey. You got one and only as far as you know. There could be other things happening beyond this realm, but let's focus on this 3D experience that we're having right now. What are you doing with your experience? You don't have to be rich and famous unless that's your ambition. And if it is, then good on you, mate. But for the rest of us who just really want to live a good life and hang out with the people that we love and have good experiences, it's your duty to figure out who you are so that you can make that happen. And that vibration begets other energies that are doing the same thing come towards you, which is why I'm making this, because this is my life. And I'm starting this channel to build this community so that the journey doesn't feel so lonely. As I have a lot of life experience, I'm world traveled, and I'm 50 now. I feel like, I'm in a position where I can really share some things that could be of benefit to people. Love is the reason that we're all here. When people rape, pillage, and murder, it's based on love. As jarring as that might sound to the uninitiated, the truth is that everybody's looking for love. So rather than harming people to get at love, how about sit quietly with yourself and cultivate love inside yourself? That's the awakening. That's the who you are. You are a loving being. When you go in and you start to figure it out for yourself, you'll probably come back to me and thank me, as other people have done throughout my life, whom I've given a little gem. I'm just saying, boom, try this out. Or because I'm an empath, I see some things that you're not seeing. If you'll allow me, I want to share it with you. And you do with it what you will. And the people who take heed, they'll come back to me, let me know that the things that I'm saying are on point. To be sure, I'm not rocking from ego. What I do and say comes through me through a higher power. As a military kid who moved around a lot, I had to understand who I was at a very young age. Sometimes I feel like I've had a head start, and other times I feel like I'm very far behind. But again, those things come from ego, and it comes from comparison to other people and other people's lifestyles. This is my journey. This is how I'm doing it. I'm gonna need you to do yours the way you're supposed to do it. No more, no less. Love is what my intention is. Seriously, my only intention. Of course, radiant health, abundant wealth, love, gratitude, those are things that are important to me, but love is the most important. And what I want for you is for you to love you, or for you to fall in love with you, so that the rest of the world can as well. And as you fall in love with you and the people around you in your neighborhood, your family, your friends, your country, your culture, your world, your universe, all of it starts to pour love towards you, because now you know who you are. You understand that the power comes from you, through you, to you. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't, you will. And knowing yourself, it benefits all of us. So take this seriously and have fun. And it's also my sincere belief that the more of us that wake up is the beginning of the end of the fuckery that we have to deal with on planet Earth. And so here's your call to action. I really want to encourage you to tell us a part of one of your enlightening stories in the comments. Not just because I'm curious, but also because it could help people. You know what I'm saying? Why not? If you can help people, why wouldn't you? I want you to join this community, so I want to thank you in advance for subscribing and sharing your ideas with me. And if you've got some ideas about something that you want me to talk about, please let me know. I've been very privileged to be able to explore the globe more than most people. And I got some stories to tell. I've come back with news, my friends. Give thanks for your time.